So yesterday we tried to look at how we can use web design in our day-to-day life and for purposes of generating income. As a student, we expect that maybe if you have interest in this, you can take it on and then see how it can employ you. You become self-employed. So we looked at databases, the structure of databases. We looked at live servers, how we can upload websites, because people create these websites and they keep them onto their PCs because they don't know how to host them and they don't know what it takes for a website to be seen online. So we talked about an IP address, we talked about the domain name, and then we also talked about subdomains and so on. So that one is what we handled. Those who missed the session, we recorded and then sent. So today we are going to look at simple HTML. And then the next day we shall look at CSS joined with HTML, and then we see the magic. I sent W3 Schools offline installers the group. So I hope you downloaded and then unzipped onto your PCs. That is so helpful because whenever you have time, you can always revise. So our major emphasis today is going to be on HTML. We see how we can create a simple HTML file. I hope we know the difference between a website and a web page. A website is a collection of many related web pages, and a web page is just that single page in a website. So you consider a website as a textbook. So a textbook has very many pages. So a collection of those pages makes up a textbook. And then one single page in a textbook is called a page. So in relation to web design, that is what we always mean. Okay, now we shall use an IDE called VS Code. IDE is Integrated Development Environment. So it's the one we shall use. And I hope we have it. If you don't have that set up, we shall share that in our group. All right. So, okay. Let me share. All right. I hope you can now see my screen and that I hope my screen is clear. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Now shall load VS Code. VS Code. And when you load VS Code, depending on your the application, or I mean the website or system you had closed, that is what it opens. So it brings for you the last site you have opened. So I've closed that. Now, because we want to create an HTML file, we shall order them in a way that we create a folder. So there are two ways. You can either come here and then you open a folder, or you can move to desktop, or you can move to desktop. If you want to do it from here, you just come here and you open a folder. By clicking in this, it will bring for you File Manager. So in File Manager, you can look for any directory you want and then any folder, and you create a folder there and then. So you select that folder. This is what it is. And the other way is moving to anywhere here, and then you create a folder. Shortcut is Ctrl-Shift-N. You say our trial. So once you have created a folder like that one, our trial, depending on how you have installed VS Code. Now, when we are installing VS Code, there is that option you have to check, that add to open with. Add it open with. So when you right click, you'll always see something like open with code. You'll see this option. So this is the shortcut. And this shortcut comes when you have selected that, you have checked that box of open with code when you are installing. So if you installed and you didn't check this, just reinstall, and then ensure you click in that, the open with, so the shortcut will be there. Now, now that we have created it here, we shall come in VS Code. For those who did not check that, now as for me, I only click there, and then I have the folder. I have the folder opened in here. So let me assume that I do not have, I did not check that. I'll come and open folder, click here, open folder. If I want to create a new folder, I'll right click anywhere, the space, and I create a folder, trial, and then I select that folder. I select this one. If I had not created the other one, so that would be one way I could do it. Now that I created one on desktop, on our trial, I will come in this, and because it is selected, I will click here to open it. Now it is right here. So to create a file in this, you click here, new file, and within here, if you want to create a folder, you click in the next one, new folder. So here I want to create an index file. So the index, the word index marks the first page, just like you see the first page of a textbook. Now in web development, the first page will always be marked as index. Even when you're writing a system that is in PHP, it will always be marked by index.php. So any web server will always look for index file, the keyword index.anything. You'll look for that index. Now we have created this. Now, the moment you press OK, you'll see some blinking eye, the cursor. Now, this simply means that the ID is ready to receive. It is ready to receive any input, anything you want to type in. So in order to bring out the skeleton, we place the shift and that exclamation, that one there. On some keyboards, it's on 1 because it is up there, we shift. That is why we press shift and then that exclamation. That exclamation will prevent us from typing all these things, the header, the HTML, the body, and so on. That is what it helps us in. And because it is an IDE, it comes with these things already defined. Now, when you press enter, then you have the skeleton. Now, this is called a skeleton because it defines the framework of a website. A website must have a doc type that is defined as HTML. And then the language must also be defined as English or any other language you wish to write your HTML in. Then it has a header. Now this header is the one that holds the title. Where is the title found on the website? Now, when we come here, like here, then okay, let's come to the website, and the moment you point here, this thing, it tells you Sembata Shafik dash profile. That thing it shows to you is what is put here. So we can assume that we put something like this, and because we put it in this way, that is why when we come here, as for the title of the website, it is Sembata Shafik dash profile. So I hope we have done this. Shift exclamation, and then you open. You press enter. And after pressing shift exclamation, the exclamation will come depending on the kind of the layout of your keyboard. Mine, it is on 1. Up of 1, there is that exclamation. That is why we shift from 1 to this to any number or symbol above. So I hope you have done that, and kindly let me know if something is wrong. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, we are together.
Okay. Now let me proceed. Okay. All right. Now, because we want to test whatever we do here, want to test it. So now, for purposes of testing, because we have declared this as an HTML, we shall go to the folder and double click in that file so that it opens on the web. And any web browser you installed, we shall see something like this. Now, it is like this because we have not put anything. Okay. Now, I wanted us to follow some of the context of W3 schools. Because I sent you that zip for W3 schools. So we shall follow some of this of the things from W3 schools. Now, there are different stylings in web development, and there are different ways we put data into this frame. We can use paragraphs, we can use headers, we can use tables, we can use forms, we can insert images and modify those images. So data, any kind of data, just like you can visit any site, and then you view. You see things like these ones. Now you have these ones. These ones can be paragraphs. This one can be a header, and this one can be different. This can be ordered lists, and then we style them. Now these ones we have a way we represent data in divisions, in divs. We create different divisions so that we we can edit that data. Now here we can, for something like this, we can create one major division that will style all of them in one in the middle, and then we shall have, for all these ones, we have a division, and a division. So that inside one division we can have text, and then the image, and then the paragraph there. So this can be a heading. You have the image and this. So for purposes of things being seen like this, we shall only call that particular division, and then we modify it in any way we want. Okay. Now, you see something down here that these icons here and words are organized in columns. These are all divisions. You can organize work in divisions so that we class them. Now, when we want things to appear like this, of course, as I said, we create divisions, but these divisions take in what, okay, I might call parameters. Those actual things you call, so that now when you want to edit this as maybe for color green, there is that parameter you call. So in web development, those parameters, the so-called parameters, they are either an ID or a class. So we call these things, or we locate these things, just like you can locate phone numbers. You call someone, and if the number is right, you have called that person. So it means when you call the right class, you'll see the color change. When you call the wrong class, that phone number will not pass through. So here we can call them by classes or by IDs. Now, with the classes, there is a way we call them in the CSS. For example, if we have a paragraph here, we have a paragraph, say Shafiq, and it is right here, and we want to call it, we want to introduce a class. Now the class lies inside the word P, the letter P. We put the word class because this is an ID. The word class will always be there. Now the ID takes in a name. That name is what you will call in the CSS, because we use CSS to edit and make stylings about this work of ours. So the class, you can put anything that you remember. Example, share. Now, this is something you'll call when you want to edit the whole paragraph. When you want to edit the whole paragraph. So when we get to a website like this one now, they created divisions, and in those divisions, they created the classes or IDs, and there are those IDs they call so that they can edit these things here. So you don't look at a website and you say, now, how will I be in a position to create something like now that one? It is possible. It is very possible. Yes. Now, when we come to entering text in an HTML file, we talked about paragraphs. This is an example of a paragraph. And then we can have headings defined by H. Now, I think when you can see here, when you call H, it has very many H's. Now, this H, they are only different in the way of font size. H1 is not like H2, and H2 is not like H3. Let's try and see this. I've created H1 and now H2. Now these ones, I just type in H2 and I press enter, and then it will write the little code for H2. H2. Now these ones, when we are creating when we are creating these elements, now these elements are the ones that lie in angle brackets. They are called the elements. They are elements because they style, they organize our work, whatever I put in, they organize for them, they organize. Now, that is why they are called elements. And they are elements also because they are inbuilt. There is no element that is not inbuilt, all that is not known, and it lies in these angle brackets. So anything that lies inside these angle brackets must be known. It must be known. Now let's see if we try. Now let's put an H6 shall be in position to actually know the difference. The difference. Okay, when we refresh this, I hope that you can see, as I said earlier on, that the difference is only the font size. The font size. If you want to apply an H2, H3, the font size is what matters. Now this is H6, and I think you can actually see the difference. Okay. Now, that is how we put in paragraphs, and I hope you have tried on putting this in. If you have not, kindly try them and see if they actually work out for you. All right. Now, what happens, for example, if we put this one here? What happens? Okay. Now, I think we are left with about 10 minutes. I left with 10. Okay. Now, there is this idea of writing things, and then you find that for example here there is a way we write things now, like Shafiq, and if we want to break this one to go to the next line, there is that element called the BR. The BR is the one that breaks the page, all the paragraph. So it is also important to note while we concentrate on paragraphs, because we use this one when you want to break a paragraph or a heading. The heading might be very long, and if you want to break it, the BR element is the one that helps you. The one that helps you there. Okay, I hope you have tried on that too. And now, there is this other thing when you want now to, because these two we have tried upon are the ones that work on text. When you want to enter text, that is actually what you use when you want to enter text. How about if you want to enter a link? You want to enter a link. So a link is defined by an anchor tag A. The moment you place A, it will bring that A. That A is the anchor, and when you press enter, you'll see it giving you the href. Now the href is actually that the very where you have to put the URL. For example, if my URL is summittechworld.com, and that is where I want to direct people, I think you can see it has underlined that, meaning that it's actually a link. And then out of that, let me space, out of that, you can tell someone, click the link to join STW website. Now, something like this is what the user will see. The user will not see this. But if a user is critical, the moment you point at this down here on that website, you'll see something like the link will be shown. Okay, let's see if it is true we can work on links also. Now I see something like this, and down here, I think you can see, you look at somewhere down here and see what happens. So it is telling us our trial summittechworld.com. So that is where it will hyperlink to. And the moment you click there, it will take you there. Now, because this one is on localhost, it will move to user Shafiq, and it gets that. But if you want it to move to the web, then you'll declare that you want it to move to the web by declaring www and dot that. So when we come to this, and then we try to click in it, okay, I think it needs HTTPS, like that. Okay. Hypertext transfer protocol secure. Now today we shall stop on links. I hope the next days we shall move for 1 hour, but as for today, we shall stop on that. Now by declaring HTTP down there, it will give you the full link, not the directory, and it will load looking for the website. Okay. All right, now this is how we put links. This is how we put links in websites. So if you can put a link like this one here.
Shafiq, you can't see that. You can't see the screen.
Oh, you can't see the screen, eh? Okay. So I'm going to share this recording, and I hope we actually stop here for a while. I've asked for a Zoom link, and I hope they avail us a link, and then we shall not be disturbed by this, the time bound. Okay, and thank you for attending. We meet.